Hi everyone, it's Lindsey from East Brentwood Presbyterian Church, and welcome to our first story time together. A lot of us are home and staying in our jammies all day, so I thought I'd wear my jammies for story time too. Do you have a special place in your house where you like to sit and read? I certainly do. I actually have lots of places that I like to read. My favorite one is to be snuggled up on the couch with a blanket and read during a rainstorm. Sometimes I also like to climb in my bed and pull the covers up to my chin and snuggle in with a good book. But today I'm up in my playroom in our cozy corner. And so while we're home during this time, I encourage you to find a special place in your house that you like to go to enjoy reading books by yourself, or maybe with a brother or sister or mom or dad, and just find a special place that is quiet and special for your story time every week. So today I thought, since it was Lent, we could do a special Easter themed story time. And in fact, we're going to do that for the next 3 weeks. Today I picked one of my favorite Easter books to share with you. It's called The Tale of Three Trees. And we always read this book together on Easter Sunday at East Brentwood. So I thought I would start off by sharing this very special book with you today. So won't you join me? I've got Teddy here to help keep us company. This is The Tale of Three Trees. And this book is a lot about dreams. Do you have a dream? Not like a dream you have at night, but a dream about something you want to be when you grow up. I know when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher more than anything. So I went to school to learn how to be a teacher, and that's what I get to do every day. We're going to hear about 3 trees and what they dreamed of being when they grew up. And we're going to see that even though they had really good dreams, God had even bigger dreams for them. So join with me. This is The Tale of Three Trees, retold by Angela Elwell Hunt, with illustrations by Tim Jonk. And this is published by Dayspring Publisher. The Tale of Three Trees. Once upon a mountaintop, 3 trees dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. I want to hold treasure, the first tree said. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the whole world. I want to be a strong sailing ship, the second tree said. I will be the strongest ship in the world. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, the third tree said. I want to grow so tall that when people look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. One day, 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain. With a swoop of the first man's axe, the first tree fell. With a swish of the second man's axe, the second tree fell. With a slash of the third man's axe, the third tree fell. There they go. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. Can you think of a story in the Bible where there's a feed box or a manger? Wonder if that held a very special treasure. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to a shipyard, but no mighty sailing ships were built that day. Instead, the once strong tree was made into a simple fishing boat. Fishing boat. Do you know any stories about a fishing boat in the Bible? The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in a lumber yard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was point to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The 3 trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. Do you know who that woman was? Who was the mama that put her baby in a feed box in a stable? Do you remember? That's right. It's Mary, and that's baby Jesus. And suddenly the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old fishing boat. When a storm arose, the second tree shuddered. But when the traveler stretched out his hand and said, "Peace," the storm stopped. Do you remember that story? The story of Jesus calming the storm when he's in the boat with his disciples? I do too. And suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the King of heaven and the earth. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the woodpile. She shivered when she was dragged through an angry crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel. That wasn't the dream she had at all. Do you remember this story? The story of the cross that Jesus carried on Good Friday? But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful. It had made the second tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the tallest tree in the world. So what did that third tree become? He became the cross that Jesus died on, but also the cross that is now empty because we remember that Jesus came to life again and he lives for all of us forever so that we may always know his love. So, what dreams do you have? Do you dream of being a doctor? Do you dream of being a teacher? What do you dream of being? Well, I know one thing. I know whatever your dreams are, that God has even bigger dreams for you to show his love to all of those around you. So until our next story time, I want you to find a cozy place to snuggle in and remember that no matter where you are or what you're doing or what you're dreaming, that God is always with you and his love is always shining through you. Bye-bye.